So yes, there is definitely crossover between CrossFit and HYROX. It's obvious there's crossover, but it's not one-to-one. And I've gone through different periods in my training where I've used it quite a bit and other times where I haven't used it at all. And I'm trying to strike a nice balance here. So I've been able to do that the past 6 or 8 months or so in training. And in this video today, I'm going to take you through what a day of training looks like for CrossFit when training for HYROX. So I meet up with some buddies, a buddy of mine, Eric Hinman, who's a high-level master's athlete who's training for HYROX Vegas, and his CrossFit coach, Jason Grube, who is a 5-time CrossFit Games champion at the master's level, and he's an absolute beast. So it was great to spend time with these two, to throw down with them, and to just learn from them about like the methodology a little bit more and how they see it working for HYROX, as Jason just did his first HYROX in Dallas. So we had some awesome conversations, really cool workout, and so I'll take you through what the workout was looking like and the reason why I like it, and some explanation as to how to use it for your own. So let's get into this video. All right, so we have a good day planned today. Sitting in the car, we got some snow here in Colorado just the past couple of days. So I'm sitting in the car waiting for it to defrost because I have not planned that well. So I am sitting in the car in the freezing cold to punish myself. But we do have a really cool day today. I'm headed to Arsenal right now to meet up with my buddy Eric Hinman to do some CrossFit. He has a buddy in town named Jason Grube. I'm not exactly sure. I went to high school with a dude named Jason Grube, who this is a completely different person. But this Jason, he is a 5-time Masters Athlete Games champion. He's an absolute savage. And Hinman and I've been joining Hinman like once a week to do some CrossFit stuff, and we actually follow Jason's programming on Boulder Athlete. So this is something that's been in the repertoire for a good chunk of time. I usually try to phase it out around like 3 or 4 weeks out. But this is just like a good time to do like kind of one last session in CrossFit. I don't really know what we're doing, and that's just super CrossFit of us, just being like, all right, whatever, broad domains, unknown and unknowable. I don't even care what the workout is. So that's what I'm preparing to do today. So it should be a really cool day, good day of training. And in terms of, I just ate normal, I got some coffee here now, and then after I'll probably do some sort of aerobic something or other. I went pretty hard yesterday, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel when it comes to the remainder of the day. But I'm excited for today. I think it's going to be great. I love CrossFit, and yeah, we'll give you some details on what that looks like. So that first workout today was a 30-minute EMOM, 15 cal on the row, 12 kettlebell deadlifts at 72 each, and then 150-pound sandbag hold for 45 seconds. This was just a really nice way to kind of ease into the workout. It was definitely in zone 2 by the middle of it. It's not going crazy. It was a lot of good posterior work. And then working on something like the sandbag hold is an area that I wouldn't typically do. I think it's extremely beneficial for moving heavy loads through space. So for farmers, it's really helpful for breathing. You're kind of pressing your diaphragm against that sandbag and trying to expand your rib cage while you're doing it. It's a really solid movement that we don't put too much into place. So this is a really cool way to start the workout without going crazy. The second portion of the workout is typically going to be some kind of Olympic lifts or some sort of absolute strength. For me, I generally get my buddy Matt Bickle over there, and we do some sort of less strenuous strength, more so that's not just going to be incredibly hard to recover from. Just gotten familiar with this belt squat, which it doesn't load the spine the same way that a back squat would. I find you can move good weight with it, with good speed, which is definitely going to be my priority in these last couple weeks leading into Vegas. So starting off with that march, it gets those glutes like really fired up. And then moving into the belt squat again, you can see you can have your hands on the piece too. So you're really not loading up your spine at all. And you can really drive quickly through the ground here. And that was my focus during this piece. And then I've been playing around with the safety bar, pretty similar concepts as the belt squat. You are loading up top to your spine, but it just puts you in a more advantageous position. Working on speed, this is not a heavy load at all, but just working on depth, working on driving through, just to keep my speed in a good spot without doing something that's so crazy I can't really recover from it. Then finally, on to the last Metcon piece. This is a pretty typical structure with Metcon up front, and then some sort of strength, and then strength. And then we're moving into something a little more blasty. So this was 3 rounds of 3-minute AMRAP, 12 thrusters. The workout called for 50-pound dumbbells. We didn't have enough at the gym, so we did 115 on the barbell. Then the workout called for 60 dubs. I can do dubs, but there is a bit of a skill limiter there, and it can kind of screw things up. I'm pretty good at them, so I don't really need to worry about it that much, but I just worry about my calves. I haven't been doing them a lot, and I don't want to. I've had a setback before doing dubs, so I'm just playing it safe. And I swapped out with 12 cals on the Echo bike. I was holding closer to like 75, 80 RPMs. The 115 on the thruster is a good amount of work. So I was coming off that feeling a little bit gassed, and the goal of the workout was how many burpees you could do in that final with whatever you had left. I started doing lateral because that's what the initial one called for. Eric's over there doing facing, so I eventually flipped to facing just to keep things fair. Facing is probably better for specific prep when it comes to HYROX, but really burpees, any type of dynamic burpee I really enjoy. And being in this like really short time domain is somewhere we don't play in often. So this was really, really blasted. Like I said, it was just going as hard as you can for like those 3 minutes. Here's Eric cheating, trying to get done soon. So I told him that's not right. And then so this is something that I think works maybe once per week. I think having this once, maybe twice, where you're only accumulating under 10 minutes of fast work, again, because it can be hard to recover from, and it can really kind of put you underwater, but it's good to have a bit of a speed component in your training, and that's something I think that this workout accomplished really well. And it was only 9 minutes of total work, so I felt okay going there during this portion because it just wasn't that much. But this is where CrossFit can kind of get you in trouble, where it's just like doing a ton of high-end work every single day. But I use it sparingly for the speed component of things. So that's in the bag. That was really fun. So CrossFit in general is something I find to be an awesome modality for training in general, right? And I've put this back in place over the past 6-8 months or so. Usually I'll have it I'll like do it around the open time, and it'll just be kind of a fun check-in, a way to kind of be in and around the community and just kind of do some fun workouts. And I really like that. I've been doing the open. I've only missed it a couple times since like 2012. So it's something that I do really enjoy doing. So with this, I kind of had the idea to put this back in place. And last year when I did the open, I was kind of like, I got blown up a couple times doing some different. So I got blown up with some like. So I got blown up doing some upper body stuff, like the upper body strength endurance was really challenging, and that was just eye-opening. That I had some holes. Right. And putting CrossFit into place recently, and only once a week, right. And not having it be structured. Like I just go in and do whatever the workout is, which is a change for me, where I like to have like a lot of control and just kind of like understand what the progress is, which CrossFit like really has that to a limited capacity, which is something that it seems like I kind of needed, is just kind of like training a different variety and having a little bit more fun and like being able to be a little bit more adaptable when it comes to my fitness. And it's also allowed me to kind of explore into some different stimulus, right? To see what kind of movements are going to make the biggest improvement, not just at CrossFit, but things that I could put into place for HYROX, and how the HYROX training can benefit
from movements that are outside of HYROX, because they absolutely can. And in the past, I was just like so specific on like everything that I was trying to do that, yeah, I created some gaps, right? And so you don't necessarily need to do CrossFit to kind of close these gaps, but it is very, it's a great methodology to just like explore. Um, I think maybe twice a week, if during the off season, 3 times maybe, but I think that might be stretching it, right? Like this workout was, a lot of squats, a lot of high end stuff, and like maybe that would eventually kind of burn things out. If you're doing it more than 3 times a week, I think that would probably be the most that I would recommend. I will do it twice a week in the off season, once a week in season, and again at like 3 to 5 weeks out from an event, I kind of drop it altogether, just to be a little bit more specific and to focus on recovery and to kind of control the recovery. Right, there's a time to be able to be broad in fitness, and there's a time to be narrow, and closer to competition is the time to be narrow. So that is kind of how I use this for the training itself. So yeah, I really have been enjoying it. And I just kind of have to be careful with some of the stuff. Like I swapped out like double unders, and when it's like a lot of movements that are going to cause like incredible muscle damage, like I'll note that and kind of work around it. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to have in. I don't think it's the only thing you can do if you want to perform well. If you want it to be the only thing you can do, you can perform like okay in HYROX. You can do it for sure. And if that's what you want to do in HYROX, then yeah, sure, just do that. But I don't just want to do HYROX. So I'm going to have to be more and more specific for HYROX events as it gets closer. But yeah, I would recommend it. I do like it, and it's just fun.